Hey there, welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Tranquility. I am your host, Pete Pardo, publisher and CEO of SOT. Today is Monday, May the 22nd, as we're getting set here in the U.S. to head into Memorial Day weekend in a few days. Wanted to bring you one more edition before the holiday weekend where we talk about some really cool stuff that's come out in recent weeks in the worlds of heavy metal, progressive rock, jazz, fusion, classic rock, hard rock. You know we do it all, so let's jump right into it, shall we? So the first two we're going to talk about are released on from our buddies over in Italy, Frontiers Records. You know, they've got a great roster of artists, both classic and new. This particular band put out their debut album about a little over a year ago, which we loved quite a bit. The band is called Inglorious, and it's called Inglorious 2. There's that bad boy right there. Okay, this is the deluxe edition. It's got the new CD and Live at Donington DVD from their appearance last year, as well as some music videos and things like that. So, you know, this is Nathan James and company. Nathan has sang for Uli John Roth as well as Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's got a tremendous voice. The music is just really, really good. 70s and early 80s style hard rock, think of, Whitesnake and Bad Company and a little bit of Deep Purple and, that sort of thing. Just really, really good tunes, great vocals, really great guitar work, lots of grooves, just memorable melodies, anthems. I mean, you name it. I dig it a lot. I love their debut. I really like this new one. This is the band who should be going places. They're led by a fantastic singer who's one of the best out there right now, and I predict some success for these guys. So hopefully they can make it over here to North America and do some touring. We'd love to see them. So Inglorious 2. Also on Frontiers Records, finally the follow-up from the band Snakecharmer. It's called Second Skin. You might have remembered a few years back they released their debut. The band was basically put together by ex-Whitesnake members Mickey Moody and Neil Murray, as well as ex-Wishbone Ash guitar player Laurie Weisfield. Who else we got going on here? Chris Aussie on vocals, as well as Adam Wakeman on keyboards, okay, son of Rick, also member of Black Sabbath touring-wise, and Harry James on drums. So the band released their debut album, very, very solid, kind of, commercial, Whitesnakey, bluesy Whitesnake type of thing, and played some shows, it started getting ready to record a new album. Now, as we hear, Mickey Moody's out of the band. In his place is Irish guitarist Simon McBride, who handles himself quite well here alongside ex-Wishbone Asher, Laurie Weisfield, and it's just another really, really good, solid album. Aussie is just a great vocalist. He just sounds tremendous on here. And this is a mix of good, hard rock and bluesy hard rock, as well as, some more commercial rock stuff. I dig it a lot. It's classy. Great guitar playing, great keyboards from Wakeman, and fantastic vocals. It's just another winner from Snakecharmer. Gotta love that. Cover art, very Whitesnake-ish, right? So, Snakecharmer Second Skin. All right, we're going to hop on over to Century Media for the latest release. We're going to go to Sweden again, as always. We're always talking about Swedish bands, right? Horizont, About Time. There's that one. Kind of look like cover comic book, right? Even got the stamp down the bottom. Over the course of a couple albums, these guys have basically been, rising to the forefront of the Swedish kind of retro rock scene, alongside other, bands like, Graveyard, who are not around anymore, Witchcraft, and that sort of thing. And yeah, Sienna Roots, another recent one. Samsara Blues Experiment. All these great bands from Sweden. So these guys just do, I would say, maybe not as heavy as some of these other ones, but they kind of do that kind of Grand Funk Railroad cactus-y thing. A little Bad Company. That kind of lots of grooves, like cool hard rock and funk riffs, and great vocals. Just that really great '70s vibe. A little bit of Foghat. Maybe. A little Zeppelin, that sort of thing. So dig it a lot. Another really, really cool band from Sweden that you should be checking out. All right, so I'm going to go to Cruz del Sur. This guy's put out lots of good material. A lot of great new bands coming up on the Cruz del Sur label, almost all metal. So we're going to do this brand new one from a duo called Ord Wene Ballack. Okay, those names might be familiar to some, somewhat of a little supergroup here. The name of the album is called Dawn of Ages. That's it right there. You look at that cover, what do you think? You're probably thinking Doom, right? You would be right. So Victor Arduini was one of the founding members of Fate's Warning. He appeared on Nights on Brocken as well as The Spectre Within before leaving, before the Guardian album, Awaken the Guardian, where Frank Aresti came in. So, you know, what's he been doing all this time? Not a hell of a lot of anything, but, you know, he wound up getting together with Brian Balich, who's the lead singer of the Doom / classic metal band Argus from Pennsylvania, and they put together this amazing album, which is very doomy. It's got bits of like that early Fates Warning progressive metal. There's images of you know, Dio era Sabbath as well as some Ozzy era Sabbath, classic Dio era Rainbow, little bits of classic and more recent Candlemass, that sort of thing. Great thunderous guitar riffs. Ballack's vocals are off the charts. Okay, shooting to the skies. Matching up with those riffs and great lead guitar work and just a lot of atmosphere. Some sections are pile driving heavy. Some of it's kind of progressive, you know. There's a lot of classic metal stuff going on here. Dig it a lot. As far as debuts go, this is a good one. Highly recommend it. It's Dawn of Ages from Ord Wene Ballack. We're going to stick on Cruz del Sur, right? Lunar Shadow, Far From Light. I can't speak today. This is a great new band from Germany. If you love early 80s classic metal, okay, yeah, we don't need to go into all the bands, but, you know, Maiden and Merciful Fate and Sirathungal and, you know, a little bit of Fate's Warning and, you know, list goes on and on and on. New wave of British heavy metal, as well as the American scene from, you know, early Armored Saint, you know, all that kind of stuff. That early 80s metal from Great Britain, US. That's where these guys are coming from. Tremendous riffs. Vocals are outstanding. The songs are dark, dense. Okay, a lot of guitar interplay. Really, really strong stuff. The dramatic arrangements. Okay. Powerhouse band. Powerhouse band from Germany. Lunar Shadow. Highly recommend this. You know, everybody who I've talked to has given a listen to this in recent weeks has loved it. As do I. So it's one of my, all this stuff is recommended, but make sure if you love that early 80s metal sound, you know, I highly recommend these guys. So from there, we're going to go over to, what's the label here? Fastball Records, sorry. First one I'm going to talk about here is a band. They're actually a Deep Purple tribute band. They've been kind of in existence for about a decade now. The name of the band is called Purpendicular, which is named after the first Deep Purple album with Steve Morse on guitar from 95, 96. And the album is called Venus to Volcanus. So not only do these guys, you know, go out on the road and do a Deep Purple tribute show where they play all Deep Purple classics, right? They also record their own material. And their own material is really, really strong, very firmly in that Deep Purple mode. But what they do is they take elements from the, you know, the Mark II era of the band, the early mid-70s, the Mark III era of the band, you know, Burn and Stormbringer, as well as the Morse and Don Airey era. They kind of put it all together. So their lead singer sounds like a very young Ian Gillan, okay? Does the screaming thing, does that mid-range vocal, is squarely in the Gillan mold. The guitar player doesn't go so much into the Blackmore camp as much as he can do, like, you know, at times he sounds a little like Morse. He's got a little Joe Satriani thing going, like, kind of like that, you know, like that little shred thing happening as well. But really, really tasty player. The keyboard player is amazing. He's got tons of Hammond organ as well as some synths. It's just, the tunes are just like, they're just so Deep Purple-ish, but obviously not done by Purple. Okay, so yeah, really, really good. And what's even cooler here is apparently the band is basically endorsed by Purple's own Ian Pace, and I think he's even done some live dates with them on drums. He actually plays drums on one of the songs here, as well as also appearing on that same song is Tony Carey, ex-keyboard player from Rainbow, right, from the Rainbow Rising album, which is kind of cool. So really dig it. Just really good, you know, classic hard rock. If you love that organ guitar thing that Purple always did with someone who sounds like Gillan, you'll dig this. Okay, we're going to stick on Fastball for the latest from Sideburn. This is called 8. Okay, so when I first got this, I'd been listening to a number of years from a Swedish band called Sideburn. I was like, oh, cool. New Sideburn album, new label. I dig it. I put it in, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, wait a second. That's not fucking the Sideburn that I know. That doesn't sound anything like him. And so I looked at the little promo sheet and opened up the CD, and lo and behold, it's not the same band. Apparently there is another Sideburn who've been around even longer from Switzerland, and that's these guys. And, very different. It's like, the other Sideburn from Sweden does kind of like this 70s, heavy rock and doom thing. And these guys are more of like an 80s throwback to bands like AC/DC, Crocus, 80s Kiss, that sort of thing. The singer's got this gravelly voice, which kind of reminds me of a cross between Bon Scott, Brian Johnson. Maybe I hear a little bit of Ralph Sheepers from Primal Fear. Not so much in the high pitch, maybe a little bit of Dan McCafferty, X of Nazareth, that sort of thing. The songs are all like AC/DC tempo type stuff, so it's just like good time, party, hard rock. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's a fun album. If you like that sort of thing, it's hard not to recommend this because it's just fun tunes, just one after another, just real catchy party anthems, Don't know much else to say. A lot of tunes on here, though. There's like, 13 songs on here, so it's a lot of material. Maybe a few too many, but they're all like in the 3 to 4 minute range. They kind of come and go pretty quick, but it's good time, It's fun stuff. Sideburn, number 8. It's their 8th album. Okay, with that, we're going to go to Russia for a band called Distant Sun, Into the Nebula. These guys have been around for a couple of years. Really cool artwork on this album here, this little digipack. Power metal and thrash, basically. These guys obviously love the classic sounds of Megadeth and Iced Earth and Metallica. The vocalist sounds like a kind of combination between Hetfield and Mustaine. There's great roaring, galloping riffs all over the place here, and it's just a really good, solid, album of power metal, a dramatic power metal album with a lot of thrash elements as well. So you can't really call it straight power metal, can't really call it straight thrash. It's like a merging of the two. Solid vocals, memorable tunes, lots of riffs. The rhythms are cool. Yeah, I dig it. It's good stuff. With that, we're going to go to Reissue Time, all right? And this one, quite frankly, came out of nowhere and blew me completely away. I'd never heard of this band before, and I certainly am paying a lot of attention to them now. Obviously, they're no longer together, but this is a double disc set called Reflections of the Future. The band is called 2066 and Then. Okay, so German band with a British singer who got together like in 1970, released the album Reflections of the Future in 72, I believe. Got signed to United Artists Records. Album didn't really go anywhere. Band imploded, broke up, never to be seen or heard from again till now. This basically includes that original album as well as a bunch of bonus demo, alternate live tracks, all sorts of other stuff. Two discs worth of dual Hammond organ, guitar, bass, drums, and vocals. Okay, this is amazing stuff. Amazing. If you love early Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, Vanilla Fudge, Iron Butterfly, hints of Sabbath, okay, that's what you get here. 2 Hammond organ players who also dabble in mellotrons and piano, and I believe there's some synth here as well, like early synthesizer, maybe some Moog as well. Crushing guitar riffs. That's where the kind of Sabbath reference comes in, because there's some heavy stuff on here, but more importantly, it's just this wall of sound with the Hammond organs and the guitar, and there's like great wah-wah guitar solos, and the vocals are great. The singer's got this really nice bluesy voice that just fits with the music, and you got some lengthy tunes on here. It's very proggy. It's obviously proto-metal, hard rock type of thing. I can't speak enough of this. If you love that kind of early 70s, heavy Hammond organ and heavy guitar sound from the bands that I just mentioned before, you need to hear this. There's a lot of prog going on here as well, too, if you like that early, they call it the proto-prog sound. You'll dig this. Really, really, really good. This is from the folks over at MIG, Made in Germany Records. Really, really good. With that, we're going to finish up with Forgotten Favorites. So here's one that I can't really proclaim to be a forgotten favorite of mine because I never heard of this band or, this album until a couple of weeks ago when a buddy of mine happened to catch one of their videos on YouTube and said, have you heard of this band? Do you have this album? And I'm like, never heard of them, don't have it, but I got to get it after listening to one of the songs. So the band is called Alkana, and the album is called Welcome to My Paradise. This is as rare as it gets, people. So apparently this album came out, I believe, at 78 or 79. The guitar player, obviously the band is named after him. That's his last name. An amazing player. And the singer, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to get his name for you right now, but the singer was in one of the early incarnations of the early 80s metal band Warlord, right? Great voice. Kind of almost sounds like Freddie Mercury in spots. The guitar playing is off the charts, crunchy. It's just like this late 70s hard rock, early metal sound. And there's even a tune on here called The Tower that is like, if you can imagine, a blend of early Queen and Starcastle with, little bits of Purple or Sabbath, but more importantly, like Riot, okay? Like American metal band Riot, even before Riot became like the band that we all remember. Just this really good, just kind of like amazing, metallic, accessible hard rock and metal album that like, and with bits of prog, and just like why were these guys not huge? I just don't know. So if you can find it, get it. A little bit of hint, if you go to Symphonic Music, Greg Walker's site, that's where I got this from. So you can also find him on Amazon under Prog Heaven is the name of his the seller name. I highly recommend this. It's going to run you about $20-25, but well worth it. Just really, really good. Half hour, 35 minutes worth of just super crunchy guitar work and great vocals, great songs. It's metal, it's hard rock, it's little bits of prog, it's kind of everything. So, but from 78, 79, kind of ahead of its time. So, with that, I'm going to leave you till next time. This is Pete Pardo with Sea of Tranquility. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we're here on YouTube. We've got another series in our series of rants coming up probably later in the week or over the weekend. We won't do another new release show for probably a couple of weeks, but I got some stuff I want to talk about in relation to Yes. I got a little rant cooking about the state of Yes right now, and the fact that we've got 2 Yes camps and how ridiculous it is, and why can't they all get along and play together. But that'll be coming up in a couple days, so be on the lookout for that. Till then, make sure you check out all this great new music, as well as some great old music, and we'll see you next time. Take care, be safe, have a good week.